Is that word?
We're interrupting today's video to give a massive thank you to today's sponsor, Yes Auto. Yes Auto is the one-stop shop for buying any car, with an experience that's always easy and enjoyable. Navigating onto the website, you can select each brand that you want to look at, each model, and even down to colour variant. You can also select through the images, as well as looking at brand new cars in 360 degrees inside and out. I myself spend a lot of time just looking at cars for sale, so it's awesome to jump on the Yes Auto website to have a look at cars for sale. You can even do a smart search on new and used cars with an option to select cash price or monthly costs. Their aim is to make car buying easy and enjoyable. Yes Auto are the one-stop shop offering a simple, impartial way to configure and compare new and used cars from almost any manufacturer, with a whole load of clever tools and media content for total reassurance. Once again, a huge thank you to Yes Auto for sponsoring today's video. There is a link in the description to the Yes Auto website. Thank you so much again to Yes Auto for sponsoring today's video, but let's get back to the action.
So guys, welcome back to the channel today. We have a 430 horsepower Stage 2 Revo Mark 7 Golf R for us to play with today. This thing sounds savage! Absolutely savage! The exhaust note on this Golf R. Listen to it. Comes on. Now, you may think, okay, that's low. It is very low, but it is actually sat on Airlift Performance Air Ride all round, so you can deck this thing out on the 3H Air Ride that is sat in front of me, or you can air it up and do some B-road bashing like I am today. Now, it's a very interesting car, this, because not only is it running power, you know, 430 horsepower in a Golf R is adequate power, let's say, but it's interesting because a lot of you guys out there might want one of these Golf R's, and I can completely see why. In fact, before I bought my RS3, this was the idea, was to buy a Golf R, hybrid turbo, all that sort of good stuff, and I did really like them, but of course the 8P had my heart from day one. So it's really nice to come back to one of these, especially with the air ride and power, because I think that's a funny in the middle. A lot of people want to stance their cars out these days, or I feel they would. I would like to as well. I love air ride. In fact, I've owned probably 5 or 6 bagged cars in my whole automotive career of buying absolute sheds, and this one is well up there with probably one of the most trick systems you can buy for a car these days. The Airlift Performance series of the Air Ride is top notch, and putting it on a car, or especially a hot hatch of this generation, and enjoying it is testament to how good these bags are. Sorry, I'll do my window up. It's a funny misconception, because as you bag a car, some people seem to think that all of the performance is lost, and I do not believe it. I've driven enough cars and pitched them in corners like I am in this one right now to know that bagging a car these days isn't necessarily a negative performance thing. I'm not going to give you a history lesson on how air ride works, but I really like it, and it's nice to jump in something. Oh, third gear, there's the torque. It's really, really refreshing to jump in something that is bagged, that is fast, that is nimble and enjoyable. Yes, you can stance this out. Yes, you could do that. You could stance it out in a public car park and look really cool. Or you can go and thrash this thing. And if you're willing to obviously put up the funds, it is incredibly expensive to bag a car, I'm not saying it isn't. But if you're willing to go down that route and bag something and especially some of the newer generation cars like this Golf R, you will not be disappointed. The bags are fantastic on this car. It does not drive any differently. In fact, if I went like that, you wouldn't even know that this thing was bagged from the way I've been enjoying it. You can throw this thing in, it still performs, it still holds its own on the road. And with that power, you know, a stage 2 power gain on one of these Golf R's, with this one being a DSG, it is phenomenal performance. Stancy looks at the same time. It literally does everything, this car. It is incredibly comfortable as well. Oh, go on! So capable, mate. If anybody is getting one of these Golf R's, oh, absolute savage. You've got to remember that I obviously drive a lot of cars, right? And jumping in something that literally does everything, that is comfortable, that stances out, that looks proper good in a car park for pictures on the gram, as well as being able to drop second gear, put her into a corner, and absolutely annihilate your face while being on air, while looking really, really good. Again, I'm going to refer back to the idea that I absolutely love bagged cars, but the newer generation stuff. Now, going back a few years, you guys remember the Cadillac on the channel? You might do. That was bagged on some relatively cheap bags, but it did not perform whatsoever. It was wallowy, it was a bad time. This though, the airlift performance bags with this car, I'll tell you what, she is impressive. Again, gonna revert back to the idea that I am still baffled at how good newer cars are. The whole air ride thing, there is a lot of people, probably in this comment section, that are like, no, I would never bag my car. I'd never bag a performance car. I get it. I understand. Some people don't like it. I am partial to it. Sorry, guys. I'm so partial to a bit of bagging on a car. I think all cars look good, silly low. But, hey, what do I know at the end of the day? If you do bag a performance car, it has to still perform, I think. And that's what I'm trying to get at in this video. If it doesn't perform, you take away that performance obviously from the car. This just hasn't got that. It's still got everything it left the factory with and more, obviously exhaust, more power, all that sort of good stuff. So there is no compromise in this car, and that is the pinnacle point in a Golf R ownership. There is no compromise. I still think they are probably one of the best cars you can jump in these days. This one is a 2015, so it's the first generation, or the year that they came out, so you can get away with getting these very, very cheap now. Have a look around. So yeah, guys, if you do want one of these, go and have a look. This one is everything you could want it to be. It stances out, it's fast, it's comfy, it looks the nuts. Yeah, I'm a fan. Anyway, guys, if you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't. I'll see you all on the next one.
Dragonfly, just grab my hand.